19 back. Let's pick one like here. 19 back. This time, well, now I picked one under the fault line. I'd rather this fault line shifted up, so I'd have to go 5 back here, 5, 10, 15, 20, and then we're going back to 19. Okay, hopefully I got that right. But yeah, it's an AD modal range. That makes sense. So notice that all of these are I can call all of them a perfect fourth, and you might want to memorize them on the guitar so you can see the Aeolian to the Dorian is always what you can call a perfect fourth. But you want to get more sophisticated from that and be able to identify what that means and identify that these are all going to give you different sounds because it's not just a racetrack. We also have to add the dimension of time in our map analogy, right? We have directionality, forwards, backwards to get to each of the continents. To get from an A to a D, I go forwards and backwards, but I also have the time dimension that you have to, because it's different at any time. I don't know what I'm doing with the time dimension. I gotta work that one out. I'm working on it. It makes sense. I just haven't got the analogy perfect yet. Let me mull it over. What if I go back 20? If I go back 20, what's the local distance? 20 minus 12 would be like 10 minus 2, which would be 8. So 20 back would be 8 forward. So, I'm sorry, 20, it would be 8 back local distance. If I go 8 counterclockwise, 12 minus 8 would be 4 clockwise, which I just have to know is a major third. Therefore, a major third can be 4 forward or an 8 note back major third. And this time I'm going another octave back, so it would be 8 minus another 12 or 8 minus an octave or negative 20 major third. So it's a negative 20 major third. Let's say, let's start from like a Lydian over here this time and see if I have enough room to go backwards. So it's a major third. So if I go forward and it was a major third, it would be 4 forward. So this would be 5 going this way because we're crossing the fault line, and then it would be 5 going this way and then back to 4. So that would be a YA modal range or a 4-6 modal range. If I go backwards, I can go backwards 8. So in this one, I have a 5 note distance here because there's no fault line between those two. So 5, 6, 7, 8 in the negative direction gives me a YA modal range, which I can call a major third, but this is a negative 8 major third. Negative 20 would be like 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So now this one, if I go back, these are all what we can call major third distances, but I want to be able to distinguish them. And remember that if you don't use the letters, like if I call this an FA, then I could try to remember that that's, if I go from the F to the A, then that's always going to be a major third. You can try to remember that, but that's going to be a lot more difficult because then you have to remember all of the relationships of 12 different notes. It'd be a lot easier to say, hey, look, whenever I do a YA modal range or a 4-6 modal range, then that is always a major third, right? That's going to be easier to memorize because usually you're working on the continent notes going from continent to continent. So you don't want to memorize. So if you memorize all the notes, then again you could do that. That's a lot less efficient of a way to do it, right? You want to say, anytime I go to YA modal range, I'd like to start to just know that that's going to be a major third. But the major thirds are different, right? This one's a 4 note away major third. This is a negative 8 note away major third. This is a negative 20 note away major third. Okay, so then we're going to say, let's go back another one and say we're going to go back 21. So what's the local distance? If I go back 21, then 20, we're not to 24 yet, so we haven't gone 2 octaves up. So it's still within 1 octave higher. So we're going to say 21 minus 12 would be like 21 minus 12 would be like 10 minus 2, 10, 9, 8. No, it'd be like 11. 11 minus 2. 11, 10, 9. So it would be 9 backwards. If I go 9 counterclockwise, that would be like 12 minus 9 or 3 clockwise. And I have to know that 3 notes away clockwise is a minor third. Therefore, a minor third could be going 3 forward or 9 backwards. By the way, once we get good at this, I no longer have to do the inverse. I no longer have to say, well, if I go 9 back, it's 3 forward. Once I memorize that the minor third could be going 3 forward or 9 back. Like, I want to know it so well that I know that a minor third doesn't just mean 3 forward in the local distance. It means 3 forward or 9 back. Therefore, if I'm going past an octave, all I have to do is get it down to the 9, which I will then recognize if I go 9 back is a minor third. But for most people, we don't really recognize that. We only know the minor third as 3 forward. Therefore, we have to find the inverse and then go in the other direction. So I could say a -9 minor third, or a -9 minus an octave minor third, or a -9 minus 12 minor third, or a -21 minor third. So let's say we're going from a minor mode over here. We're going to have to go way down. Let's go to the Aeolian down here, which is under the fault line. It's on the tectonic plate after the fault line. I use fault line here because of plate tectonics, and I'm in California, so I guess that's So anyways, we could go forward a minor third, which would be 3 notes away. So this would be 5, 4, 3. So this would be an AI modal range, which is a minor third, 3 notes forward. Or I can go, now notice this one looks like it's behind it, but really it's going forward because there's 5 notes between here. So pitch-wise, it's still going up. 5, 4, 3. Now I want to go pitch-wise down. This tectonic plate shifted to the right. Therefore, I can't go straight up to have 5. I have to go left. So this is going to be 5 this way. So this is going to be 5. And then I can say -10. And then this is going to be 9. So I can say then this is an AI modal range, which is going to be a minor third. But now I want to go -21, right? So this was -9. So let's do that again. If this tectonic plate shifted this way, it would be 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 21. So now I've got all of these are AI modal ranges, which would be great if I could just learn that every time I go from the Aeolian node to the Ionian node, or from the 6 node to the 1 node from a Nashville number system, it's going to be a minor third. But I'd also like to know that this is a 3 note away minor third, this is a -9 note away minor third, and this is a -21 note away, or a -9 minus an octave minor third. So that gives me directionality. And so, again, I think that's just objective. From what I can see, that is the best way to try to map all this stuff out. All right, let's go -22. So we're going to say it's -22. -22 minus 12 to get to the local distance would be like 22 minus 12, which would be like 10 minus 2, which would be 8, right? Oh no, which would be, I'm trying to get down to 10, would be 10. All right, I got my mental math is getting messed up here. I'm just gonna say it's 10, okay? All right. So then we're gonna say, well, if I go 10 counterclockwise, what would be clockwise? It would be 12 minus 10, which would be 2. And if I know 2 forward, that would be a major second. So I have to then start to memorize that a major second could be 2 notes forward, or it could be 10 notes backwards, or it can be -10 minus another octave, or -10 minus 12 major second, or -10 or -22. So it's a -22 major second. Hopefully I'm not getting my majors and minors messed up again, which I probably have totally messed up. So beware that I might have got those mixed up. But we're going to say it's a major second, 2 note away major second. So if I'm on something, let's go way up here let's go to the Aeolian again. We're going to major second. So if I go major second, I could go from here to here. That would be an AN modal range, which has a 2 note away major second, or I can go -10 major second. So this fault line shifted to the right. So I go 5 here and then 10. So once again, that's an AN modal range, or a 6-7 modal range, but it's a -10 minor second, so, right? -10 distance. I'm going counterclockwise, and then I can go 22, which again would be -5, -10, 20, oh wait, 10, 15, 20, 21, 22. So this up here is going to then be an AN modal range, but this is going to be a negative 22 major second, right? Negative 20. So the AN modal range is always a major second, and you can memorize the shape, but I want to get more detailed and be able to say, now let me be able to count it out both in the positive direction and in the negative direction, which a lot of guitars aren't good at. We usually count things out from the top string and then count it down, right? And then we usually use the note names, which is a lot less efficient than using the continent names or the Nashville number system. It's going to be a lot easier. You'll go faster doing it more efficiently, I believe. There's no doubt. I mean, it's ridiculous. So if you go negative 23 distance, 23 minus 12 would be like 13 minus 2. 23 minus 12. Yeah, that's right. 13 minus 2, which would be 11. 11. I got that one. Why am I'm second guessing myself. So negative 11. If I go 11 counterclockwise, that would be 12 minus 11 would be 1 clockwise, which I know would be a minor second. So that means the minor second could be either 1 note forward or 11 notes backwards. Now the minor second isn't even in the Aeolian mode. It's in like the Phrygian mode. So let's go on over to the Phrygian mode over here. Let's see if I can pick one that maybe I have to go back. Let's try this one. It might not be able to go back that far. But let's say that we're going to say here, and if I go forward 1, it would be here. So that would be a PY modal range, which would have a 1 note away minor second. Or I can go backwards 11. So it would be 5 and then 10, 5, 10, 11 in the negative direction. Once again, a PY modal range, but now we're going in the negative, so it's a negative 11 minor second. Or I can go negative 11 minus an octave, negative 11 minus 12, or a negative 23 minor second. Can I get there from here? I'm doubting it. It's going to be 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. No, I could totally do it. I could totally do it. So that's still no, wait a sec. That's not right. Hold on. Yeah, no, that's right. I'm getting tired. So this is still a PY modal range, but this is a negative 23 minor second. Okay, so that's the general idea. Now, the same principle, I won't go through all of them, but if we went back 2 octaves, you'd have a similar kind of thing, right? So if I went back 24, noting that you're not going to go back that far all the time, but you could possibly go, on the guitar back that far. On the piano, it's going to happen, more often because you might have more directionality. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I think so. That's true. So then we could go back 24, which would be 24 minus 12 minus 12, or 24 shows you that you've gone up or in the negative direction 2 octaves, because now you've gone 12 plus 12 is 24. So now you know that you're going to have to subtract 12 minus 12 or 24 from it, which would bring you back to the perfect first. If you went up to 25, then once again you'd have to know that you've passed 24 distance-wise. So then that means there's 2 octaves in the negative direction. So I'd have to subtract not 12, but 12 minus 12 and 12, or 24. So that would be equivalent to going negative 1 backwards, right? Be equivalent to going negative 12 or negative 1 backwards, which would be a major 7. So this is going to be a negative 25 major 7. If I went back 26, I'd have to say 26 minus 24 is 6 minus 4, which is going to be 2. So that would be equivalent to going 2 backwards, which would be like going 10 forwards. So it would be a negative 2 minor 7. And this would then be a negative 26 minor 7. So negative 27 minus 24 is like 7 minus 4. 4, 5, 6, 7 would be negative 3. So that would be like a negative 3. If I went 3 back, that would be 12 minus 3, 9 forward, 9 note away, major 6. So we can also have a negative 3 note away, major 6. And we can also then have a negative 27 note away, major 6, and so on and so forth. Now you can see the problem with this, of course, is that this second term is not really helping us that much, although it does kind of give us the flavor. And once we add the note names, we can totally use that, and we can not allow the terminology to get us messed up. So notice that this is one reason, however, I think the compound interval thing, where we go forward and we use a compound interval, is not the optimal thing to use because it falls apart going backwards. So I would recommend the optimal thing to use is to have the distance notation either in notes or the local distance plus and minus the octaves. The local distance positive or negative plus or minus an octave is the term I think would be best to use. But of course, I think it would be better to use the terms that we'll go into next time for modal distance. So I would highly recommend, even if using this system, you still think about the modal ranges, because then you can start to memorize. It won't take that long if you see what you're doing, that you can memorize all of the different combinations of the modal ranges, and then know all of the 7 local intervals that you can have, right? And that will be very nice to be able to know. But again, I would like to be able to have a more efficient system where I can go forwards and backwards and see the difference of going forward and backwards more clearly, both in the notes as well as the modal distance. So I can actually count out both the modal distance as well as the note distance. That's what we'll get into next time.